This is AI Jim Ross, and you're about to listen to Booking the Territory, the unprofessional wrestling podcast. This show is strictly for entertainment purposes only. Don't be a slapdick and get offended by anything on this show. And hey, slap nuts, if you do get offended, that's a you problem.
Hi, everybody. This is Jim Cornette, pro wrestling legend, and you're listening to the Booking the Territory unprofessional wrestling podcast.
This is the artist formerly known as Daryl Van Horn, James Mitchell, the Sinister Minister, and I'm here to let you know I would rather slam my cock in a car door than to miss the dulcet tones of Hard Body Harper, my illegitimate son, on Booking the Territory podcast.
Woo, Messi, this is professional wrestler Jimmy Valiant, the Boogie Woogie Man. Tell my people, my brothers and sisters, don't you dare miss Booking the Territory. Oh, yeah.
This is a one-man gang. You're listening to Booking the Territory Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, to this week's episode of Booking the Territory, the unprofessional wrestling podcast. For today, we turn the corner to 1993, or the page to 1993. We are covering WCW Saturday Night on TBS from January the 2nd of 93. If you're listening to this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on the video, and lastly, type a comment or two, because the algorithms like that sort of thing. Tell us what you liked or don't like about the episode. It really helps. It makes Harper happy, for one, and it helps the channel grow. On that note, it's Harper. Doc's back. He was missing the last 2 weeks. He got suspended by AI Bill Watts. Doc, how are you?
I've thoroughly learned my lesson.
Sure you did.
I'll be a good boy from now on.
Bullshit.
There you go. Straighten up. Maybe you need to be re-educated.
Maybe. Well, I'm also concerned, Mike.
All right.
Well, this is going to air, I think, pretty far ahead of where we are in real life. But I'm getting ultimately concerned about the Canadian Football League.
Oh, no.
I'm not having this discussion with you right now.
Why?
Because he doesn't know what he's talking about, and he's hitting the panic button. And
well, we're 0-2, and I don't want anybody to blame me for that.
That's too late. The people in Winnipeg hate you at this moment in time, okay? You can't avoid that fate.
I'm a Blue Bomber, dude.
Okay.
I was watching the Ticats and the Rough Riders the other night, and the our mortal enemies, Rough Riders, they came back in the last end of the game and got the victory. I don't like it.
You should be used to losing. You're a Cowboys fan.
That's not true. We won a lot of games last year.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me correct that. You should be used to having your heart broken. You're a Cowboys fan.
Well, my heart's not broken yet because I haven't built that kind of an emotional attachment to the team. I feel bad for our friends that like the team. That's the thing.
Okay.
Before we get into some other things, though, Harper, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
That's nice.
Super. Thanks for asking.
You're eternally welcome. Now, I do have a couple of things. One, we were having a Skype discussion before we logged on. Mike, do you think that the discussion we had about his app or lack thereof also has something to do with the Deep State Harper, or do we think that's a PC issue?
That might have something to do with Deep State Harper, the way he logs into Skype.
Maybe so.
I didn't think we
no way to know
hit
for sure.
Record. Yeah, we hit record, and I thought about that because people think we got a gimmick going here. It may just be, how Harper logs onto the computer.
Yeah, I think there might be something to that.
Okay. Well, another thing that we want to talk about, and this was a few weeks ago we talked about, but you asked me to remember this and to have a conversation about it, is Harper, what do you think about the necktie?
Like a tie?
Yeah, like I gotta wear a tie today. What is your first reaction to that?
Nothing.
Nothing. So you don't mind wearing a tie?
No.
Not at all.
No.
Is it a clip-on?
Fuck no.
Okay. So you're not Barb Armstrong.
Like
I haven't worn a clip-on since my fucking communion.
I love how he threw the F word in before that rather religious aspect of his life occurred. Jesus.
That was the line we were looking for when we brought up this topic. The good thing about tossing lobs to Harper is not that I need him to hate neckties. I need it whatever way it goes. You need to get him the ball. You see what I'm saying?
For sure.
Okay. So you're like, fuck it, we got to. You're not thinking it's 850 degrees down here in this swamp.
Well, that's different, dude. If you're in the goddamn heat with a necktie, see, if I wear a necktie, I stopped buttoning that top button a long time ago. So it's not just around my goddamn neck. So I got some fucking space.
I don't know why that made me laugh, but
I don't either, because that's smart. A smart way to live.
Because I noticed on the office, Jim, that's how he wears his necktie. That top button is unbuttoned. I was like, fuck, if he can do it, I can too.
That's true. All right. Well, I think some people out there got themselves some free Ask Harper anything tonight with that. Like, what does Harper think about neckties? I think we just solved that riddle. Neckties suck, dude. They're stupid. They're useless. It's a pain in the ass.
That make you look distinguished.
Oh, okay.
That make you look like Don from Mad Men.
You trying to sell some ads or something? Or, okay, here's another question. When's the last time you had a tie on?
Oh, God. A wedding?
A wedding?
Yeah.
Okay. What month was that in?
God, 6-7 months ago.
So the winter?
Yeah.
That's a whole lot different story than about 2 months from now.
Does anyone from y'all's shoot job wear ties? No, huh?
I think most of the shoot job ties went away. Dude, the pandemic changed a lot of things around.
Yeah, no. Business casual now is the way to go.
It always has been, but yes, it is. It's been bought in now.
That whole Best Buy look.
Yeah.
Best Buy look.
Geek Squad look. So, so we do have some. We're going to move on from Harper, but we're going to come back to Harper here in a minute. We have some shout-outs that Mike needs to make from a patron perspective.
Yeah, so first off, big time shout out to Disrespectfully Classy, Marky Blassie, Mike Childry, Joe Eyes, good old Justin. Thank you for your generous support on Patreon each and every month and being the largest sponsors of this show. And then 2 new patrons, Bobby M and Frank. Thanks for becoming new patrons, signed up in the last couple of weeks. So I wanted to get that out of the way real quick and thank them for their patronage. All right, Doc, let's do.
Hold on a second. We have a 5-star too.
I read that last week. Whiskey Clark?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was on there last week, so I read it last week.
Well, I wasn't here for that, so
I know. Well, next time you won't get suspended, and you'd be here for it.
Oh, you're taking his side now?
No, I can't stand Bill Watts. I'm just saying, but the suspension was kind of valid, being that you called me 5 minutes before.
Don't let Robot Watts come between us. We have too much history.
He's not too fond of me either, so there's that.
We have too much history and time together to let some digital set of ones and zeros come between us.
Sure thing.
Okay.
Chief.
Okay, Chief.
Let's go to the one Ask Harper question we got. How about we do that next before we get to Scotty the Body in Portland?
This seems like a big risk, but okay.
No.
All right, so everybody out there, for a few weeks now, we had mentioned if you want to ask Harper a question, he will gladly answer. You just got to PayPal him $5 per question. Anyway, we did get a question.
That's the most corny thing ever, by the way.
Well, I'm corny.
There you go.
He's corny. So this question came from longtime BTT patron Craig. Craig said, "What's up, Harper? I have seen the movie Interview with a Vampire and have run across some videos about vampires in New Orleans. I remember you did not believe in Bigfoot. Harper's exact words were, 'If you believe in Bigfoot, you are a bleeping idiot.'"
That's nice.
Okay. He says, "Do you think there were or are currently vampires in New Orleans?"
Oh, do I? No.
Yeah.
Okay, would you like to expound upon that for our good? That's
Because-
right now. Right now, our listener is at $2.50 per letter of your answer. So maybe let's make him feel like he spent his money in a good fashion here. Why do you not? Let me help Craig out. So you said no. Why do you believe that there are no vampires?
Because all the transplants bought all their coffins, so they got nowhere to sleep.
No. Okay.
No, you think there's vampire? No,
No.
no. You know who was the most famous vampire though?
Count Dracula. Count Chocula.
No. Wait. No, in New Orleans.
Oh.
Do you need help, Harper?
Bobby Joe Hebert.
No, she came into the room. No, you know, Saint Germain. Remember
Who's
him,
that?
Mike?
No, I don't. I have no
For
clue
the
what you're talking
furniture
about.
store. Saint
No.
Germain will treat you right. With quality always exceeds the price.
The
Remember that
only
commercial?
furniture I
They
do
used to
remember
come
that
on during
commercial, but
fucking wrestling.
Frankie and Johnny's was the furniture store in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I say, you say, $50 down, put you in a brand new living set, bedroom set today. I got the $50. Let her have it with no problem. Google it, kids. Frankie and Johnny's in New Orleans. You'll laugh your tail off. That's the only. I remember them more than Saint Germain's.
Well, Saint Germain, he was the most famous vampire.
Why?
In New Orleans, Jacques Saint Germain. He showed up from France in like the early 1900s and claimed to be a descendant of the Count of Saint Germain. And he used to, hook up with all these broads, and one of them claimed that he bit her and all that kind of crap. And when the police came to his house, there was blood on the floor and the blood and wine glasses. And then according to the legend, they took her to the hospital, and then when they went back to get Saint Germain, he was gone.
Ooh.
So, like, that was the whole. He's the most famous out of all the vampires.
So do you believe? Do you believe in it, or do you think it's just
I
like?
believe in it? No, I don't believe in it. I gotta add something. I can't just say no, Mike.
No.
Sure
That's why. Why are you getting hot at me?
Because he can't get hot at Craig, and he's got to get hot at somebody.
Yeah.
The question was, do you believe in So, of course, you don't believe in this.
No. Do I think there's vampires walking down Decatur Street? No.
Dude, I
Maybe
think there's
in
a
the
better
East.
chance of
Okay,
aliens walking down
off a
Decatur.
chef. Because they'll suck something out of you.
Come
I don't know
on.
if it'll be blood.
Jeez.
Wow.
Okay, Doc,
Jeez.
you have a
Yeah.
question? Proceed.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna try to help out here. So those tours that they do in New Orleans.
Yeah, like in a quarter with those
Yeah.
assholes. Yeah.
Well, okay. So you don't believe in any of that?
No.
Okay.
But I can tell you, when I used to work security for the hotels, at night there was one in a quarter that I had to work in, and they claimed it was haunted, the whole 9 yards. And that place was spooky as fuck, dude. They claimed the vampire stayed there, and it was like a Scooby-Doo movie, bro. It was spooky because this place was built like in the 1700s, and it was old as shit. I have to take walk my walk. You see, look, they got a vampire coming in Mike's house right now.
That's Susie. That's not my dog.
No. And I had to walk the rounds once an hour on every floor, and it was spooky, bro. Because they got the old pictures on the wall, just like in Scooby Doo, and it's like you can almost picture like the eyes following you.
So, does that mean that you believe in ghosts?
No. It's just my imagination was starting to run wild. 'Cause I remember talking to the night order. I said, "So what's the story that said they got ghosts?" He was like, "I don't know, bro. I'm just saying. I've heard some things. It seems." I was like, "Really, bro? Okay, so you're gonna talk to me like I'm some tourist in fucking Toledo and try to feed me this fucking bullshit?" Okay. But the shit was fucking spooky.
Okay.
Because it was old.
If you don't believe in
I mean, it was just like Interview with a Fucking Vampire. It was this old, spooky fucking hotel.
But you don't believe any of that stuff, so why would it be spooky?
Because my imagination would just start running wild. Like
that's what Craig is saying.
Like you can see Tom Cruise just like walking down the fucking stairs.
Okay.
And the Coffin Girls. That was another legend.
What's
or
that?
A story about the little girls that would sleep in a coffin.
What?
Bro, look it all up.
Well, I don't want to. I want you to tell me about it so that we can have a show.
The Coffin Girls.
Okay. That sounds like
I'm telling
some girl.
Like some
that sounds
band.
like some bad 1995 garbage cover band or some shit. Is there anything that we would consider supernatural or odd that you do believe in, Harper?
I don't think so.
Okay, let me ask you this one. Do you believe in aliens?
Yeah, but that's not. Is that considered?
I don't know. I'm working here, so I'm just trying to get us I'm just trying to get us somewhere. You believe in aliens? You think we've been visited by aliens?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably here. Yeah, I think there's aliens. Do you think we're the only beings that have the mental capabilities to work a cell phone and drive a fucking car? Come on, dude.
No, I believe in it too. I was just asking you because you don't believe in. Well, I don't believe in vampires either, but I do believe in ghosts.
Yes.
I've seen a ghost.
Okay, this is the casket girls. The casket girls were women brought from France to the French colonies of Louisiana to marry. The name comes from the small chest known as caskets, in which they would carry their clothes in.
You said they have small chests?
Yeah, from there. Come on.
I lost interest.
Okay.
He means like a chest that you would carry things in, not their.
I'd seen some chests that you could carry some things in too, but whatever.
Y'all are idiots. Grow up.
We really are idiots, and you got to wonder if and when we're ever going to talk about wrestling. But that's not the point.
Think you're fucking funny, ain't fucking funny. Somebody needs to tell you all that.
So you don't believe in Chupacabra or Bigfoot or Yeti or Loch Ness Monster or vampires or zombies or I don't know. But you believe in aliens.
Let's see. What do you got? Do I believe in vampires? No. But just think about it. A vampire has got to be the easiest thing to fucking kill, bro. You just throw some light on that motherfucker.
Throw some light. I like it.
He's right.
Light.
Yeah, like in the middle of the day, throw some light on them and some holy water, and they're done. Like, I mean, you don't even need a real weapon to kill them.
The only advantages they have is they're fucking nocturnal, and you can't just shoot them. You got to, okay, I'm gonna put the stake to your fucking chest, motherfucker. How about that?
I was just gonna say you don't even have to use your finisher on them.
Yeah, you could just schoolboy them.
There's your wrestling. Good job.
Because remember, God, what the fuck was that movie where they're in Alaska where it's dark for like a couple of days in a row, and all the vampires show up on the ship and they run around to the town fucking eating everybody?
I must have missed that one.
Yeah, I did too.
No, God, it came out like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And they go into the one dude's house and he's growing weed and he's got the fucking UV lights over his weed, and he puts the UV lights on the vampires, and that's how they fucking get them, because the UV light fucking kills them.
Yeah, that's one I ain't never seen.
Yeah, I ain't ever seen that one either. Now,
DM that name of that movie to Harper and Luke Hawk. They are the one interested, not me.
Wait. I think it. The fuck was that movie called, bro?
Bloodsport?
It was called
Bloodsport.
Time Bandits.
God, that's got to be 30 years old.
No, that wasn't Time Bandits.
Don't try to do to us this whole Brian Adias owns a Buc-ee's thing to throw us off the scent. We're not the average bear out there.
God, the fuck was that movie called?
He thinks he can just tell us anything.
Where are we going with this? Because this is like going on and on.
I'm trying to make sure that Craig gets his money's worth.
I think Craig got his money's worth. We've been talking about this for 10 minutes and ain't made no progress. The bottom line is Harper does not believe in vampires.
Oh, okay, wait. 30 Days of Night. That's what it was called.
Oh, okay. I was waiting in suspense to hear that name. It's not Time Bandits.
30 Days of Night.
Time Bandits was made a further time away than 10 years ago, okay?
1981.
Right. And I remember
That's
Time
Mike's
Bandits well.
Movie.
Oh, my God. That movie's so wild. That movie's weird, man. It's like, what the piss? I remember I was watching it. I was talking to T-Hog, one of our longest tenured listeners about this years ago. And he was saying that, one day he was watching it, his kid walked in and was like, what the piss is this? And that was legitimately what happened to me too. I'm watching it, my kid walks in and goes, what the piss are you watching? And I was like, oh, it's called Time Bandits. It came out in 1981. And like, that may have been, like that's the equivalent to him of World War I time. It's like 1981, right? So he's like, this is terrible. I'm like, well, it's kind of a classic, I don't know what to say, but yeah, Time Bandits was wild. It was just really weird. With all the little people, you can't say the other word no more. But it was a good little movie for its time. But nowadays, it's like, what is this crap?
Well, they got vampires in Dallas.
No,
they
we ain't
got
got
some kind of story.
If they're not real, then they can't be here. So that's.
Let's see.
Oh, you're gonna look it up.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
Okay.
Are there real vampires in Texas?
He's Googling it. This is ridiculous.
I know.
Vampire Court of Dallas really just wants to help others. I don't know. That's some crap y'all have over there.
Okay, Doc, let's go to the next segment.
Well, the next segment tonight promises to be as much or even more thrilling than that one. Mike, I think you want to take us on a trip to the Northwest, and we need to check in on Johnny Polo, huh?
All right. So like Doc was saying, this next segment is something that me and Mike Crockett from the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing sent me several weeks back, and we wanted to talk about it on the show. And yes, we are in Portland for not Johnny Polo, but Scotty the Body, and more on that in a second. But I wanted to say this real quick before I play anything that you may or may not hear. So the music portion of this, you probably won't hear because I'll have to remove that from YouTube because of the song that is played during it, which we will talk about in a second. But what we're about to watch and listen to, if you're not on YouTube, is Scotty the Body doing some dong dancing in Portland in the Great Northwest. And I sent this to Doc and Harper several weeks ago after I got it from Crockett. I was like, y'all got to look at this. We got to talk about it on the show. So again, if you're not hearing the music on YouTube, that's why I can't. We will talk about what this song is. The artist is Dino. The name of the song is called I Like It. More on that later. For now, I'm going to play this.
Wait, what year is this?
That song came out?
No, that we're traveling.
I think this is 1989.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like the late 80s, early 90s.
Right. So again, for the YouTube version, you will likely not hear the audio as it's playing. So I just wanted to put that out there. On that note, here is Scotty the Body dancing in Portland with two, I think, underage ladies. We'll get Harper and Docs and my comments on the other side. Here it is.
Can't see it, Mike.
You didn't share the screen.
You know, y'all could have warned me of that.
Bruh, I got to tell you that, hey, make sure to, okay, so when we start the show, I'm going to have to remind you, make sure you share the screen, Michael.
We can't do that because we're too busy telling Harper to download the app so that we can have the show run right. Come on.
Yeah, talk about vampires in New Orleans.
All right, can you see it now?
Diamond. Yeah.
Much better.
Now let's go to it where y'all can see it. Here it is.
Harper, what did we just see?
I need your comments on what we just watched.
We saw Raven dancing to, who is that, Mike Bobby Brown?
No. Then okay, so
we'll get
I'm
back
gonna tell you the name. I'm gonna tell you the name of the artist, but let's table that until after we're done talking about whatever the piss Scotty's doing. The name of the artist is Dino, and the name of the song is I Like It. And he's a white dude, for one.
Oh yeah. But he's got moves though. Okay.
Not Scotty, but Dino. More on that in a second. For now, let's focus on whatever the piss Scotty is in there doing. Raven, aka Raven, Scotty the Body. What is happening here?
Man, I'm thinking, what are those two little black girls thinking?
Well, no, but they got some synchronized moves, so they're probably.
Oh yeah, bro. They're enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. They are not of age. There's no way.
Okay, so then they're really, the only thing they do for this scene is make it even more ridiculous by the fact that he's in there dancing between two sisters. I don't care that I do care, but we're not going to talk about them in this. He's not dancing suggestively on them, is he?
No.
No. He's not even close to him. I mean, they're just on each side, and he's dancing, and they're a couple feet away from him. So he's not.
So he just looks more absurd because he's obviously a cracker dancing to Dino with two young sisters on either side of him.
Yeah. What the hell?
His moves are horrendous.
Well, I mean, quote the Raven, nevermore.
I bet they're probably like saying, oh, Mama, we're going to be on TV.
Lord, what did you do down there at that wrestling place?
I mean, look at like, you know how Chick was smooth with the little shimmy and stuff?
Uh-huh.
Chick Donovan, like, is light years a better dong dancer than whatever the hell this is Raven is doing in Portland.
How much do you think he went around backstage or wherever they went out and did this and was really thinking he was like Marky Mark or some shit? And the other boys were like, what the fuck is his problem?
I mean, what is that? Look at this, like the way he's thrusting his hips near the end.
I was hoping that as a white guy trying to act black, you could help us out here, but I don't know.
Okay, you're trying to be funny. That's cute.
He can't, he's not a very good dancer. The other thing that ruins it is, you know what he becomes, and once he becomes Raven, that's his real identity. This is all bullshit.
But I think he probably has more moves than we do.
Well, yeah, but what's that got to do with anything?
I'm just saying, come on, man. Don't be shitting on his dance moves.
Don't hate, congratulate.
Yeah.
Now, so the one thing that I thought was interesting when I looked up Mr. Dino.
Okay, can I say one more thing about Scotty before we go to Dino?
Well, and let's put the bow on that. It's ridiculous what he's doing.
This is how Mike met his wife doing shit like this.
Whoa.
Okay, you're just such an asshole.
Harper, that's hurtful.
I posted this in the official BTT Facebook group, where all the degenerates are, and the best play-by-play commentator in wrestling today commented on this, and I gotta read this. Ian Riccaboni goes on to say, "This was shortly after he left the Monster Factory. Somewhere in heaven, pretty boy Larry Sharp is smiling, knowing one of his best pupils out-prettied the pretty boy. Side note, I think this is a different division than Chick Donovan. It's Dancing with the Stars, different levels of hype, music, etc. This really throws a wrench in my rankings," because Ian on the Patreon page had ranked his dong dancers who was best.
That's a man that is on TV. That is a man who works in the community. He does not need to be on our stuff rating dick dancing.
Yeah.
Well, he did rate Chick and Stan and Rick Rude and whatnot on the Patreon page.
I feel like we're a terrible influence on an upstanding pillar of the community.
He's in a PTA.
Ian is a grown man who can do whatever he wants.
Man, fuck it. That's true. Get yourself a hooker. Go crazy. I don't care.
No, nobody said that. But that was the comment that he made. Then there were several other comments from listeners. David Howell, one of our listeners, says, "I do the helicopter to the song." John Weigel says, "Another dick dancer enters the stage." Oh, my God.
What do you think those two girls are doing now? Because it got to be around our age, give and take a little.
Yeah, they probably.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense, because if they're about 14 or 15 or 13, 14 or 15 during this time, they're our age somewhere.
Let's try to find them on Facebook and try to get them on the podcast.
Bruh, they probably walked in and walked out.
Great.
And
okay, Doc, let's turn our attention now to Dino. I Like It, the song that Raven, aka Scotty the Body, is jamming to. And give me a second. I'm trying to pull it up, but I bet you it's gonna play audio. So hold on one second.
That's the way it has to be.
Okay, I was able to stop it. Yeah, exactly. That was my exact thought when the first time I heard this. Not the first time, but when I looked up the video, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm gonna go to it in a second.
Robe?
Raven? Possibly. All right, Harper. So, Doc, I'm pulling up Dino again. This is the video. You wanted to ask Harper, or you got something to say about this, and then we'll go to Harper and get his thoughts on the video.
So I was talking about this not too long ago with Too Cold Scorpio, and I was like, he's doing New Jack.
That's a white guy. That God.
Yeah.
What did you miss when I said it was a white dude?
I thought it was a black dude.
No, I told you at the beginning it's a white dude.
Oh my God.
What does that have to do with anything?
Look at this asshole.
See, you think the humor is in Scotty the Body, but it's this. Yeah.
And he's hanging out with the black dudes. He looks like Van Hammer.
Mike.
Holy crap.
Mike.
That's what Doc said last night. Or tell him what you told me.
I said, I guarantee you I'm going to bring up to Harper that him and Van Hammer ought to be a tag team. Last night, not 24 hours ago.
Man.
We are all three really do share a brain.
Was this a hit?
Okay, so Mike and I discussed this last night. He swears that it was a hit. I have no recollection of this ever existing.
I have no
I
idea
remember it.
Who
I remember it.
Is. Do you really?
I remember it. Yeah. Yeah. He had a couple of songs that were, I mean, when you say hit, you got to define hit.
They played it on
they played it on the radio. I mean, like, it was.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
I gotta look this dude up to see what the.
Okay, so
Well, Doc did already. Go ahead.
Think of this, the places he lived, and I don't mean to insult the good people there, but he lived in Connecticut, Las Vegas, and L.A. growing up. You think he's a nice fella? Those just seem like places that would grow people like this.
Look at this dickhead.
Hey, Harper, the one thing I'll say is apparently he writes his own songs.
It says he's still active.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, since 1987 to fucking present. Let's see. So what song is this? I Like It, huh?
Yeah.
He had some shit going into like the early 90s.
Yeet.
Yeet.
Romeo, Gentle, Never Too Much of You.
Dude, he was on that MTV show where they would perform live, not unplugged. It was the one prior to that. I can't think of the name of it. Yeah, I mean, he like when I listened to the song, I knew I remembered that song from somewhere. So I tweeted at Silva because he's like knows every damn artist and song known to man. It's like in his brain. He's got it all memorized. But before I got a response, I was like, well, let me Google it. And Sean Sparks saw it. He's like, Dino, I like it. And I said, yeah, I found it right after I sent that. I went looking for it myself. And then as soon as I played it, I was like, yeah, I remember this. And then I started like Googling his other songs. And I was like, yeah, I remember that. Oh, yeah, I remember that. And I was like, wow, this dude completely escaped my brain until I heard Raven dancing to it. Are you saying Jesus because you're reading something or the video?
No, I mean just everything. He got a communications degree from UNLV.
Sounds like a smart dude.
And shortly after, he accepted a job as a programmer, director / radio DJ at his college radio station with his own morning show called Urban Sunrise.
Yeah,
Humbra.
Right after Jodeci, we'll hear my new joint.
Baby, won't you just stay for a little while?
In that last,
Forever,
we heard Tony,
ooh, yeah,
and Belle Biv DeVoe.
Soon he moved on to become a top 40 DJ at a Nevada radio station, Power 97. He was offered a job at KCEP, Las Vegas's largest black music station.
Well, he's not black.
Shut up. He's like Johnny B. Bad. Where
he's not like Johnny B. Bad.
Directed during his time. He also moonlighted as a local club DJ. Yeah. Largest black music station.
Raven picked the song to dance to.
Yeah.
Do you say why?
He should have been out there to Marky Mark.
Nah.
Is that out yet?
Dude, if you think about it, this song went exactly with the way Raven was dancing.
I guess.
Think this is the only video he made was this.
I have to take your word for it because I don't really know.
All right. Okay. On that note, any closing thoughts on Dino, I Like It, or Scotty the Body in Portland?
Oh boy,
Harper. So you had never heard of that song either?
Fuck no.
Here's the thing that Okay, so this is what I told Mike last night. I feel like you and I are dudes that even if we're not regularly putting that in rotation, we have a fairly, and especially between the two of us, a pretty big swath of musical knowledge between Harper and Doc.
Cutting a wide swath through the Smoky Mountains, as Tracy said.
Yes. Would you agree with that? Would you agree with that, Harper?
Yeah.
And you nor I had ever heard this song before.
I never heard this fucking song before. And
Me neither.
I just looked him up. They got a video of him from 1993 where he was on. I remember that show Friday Night Videos.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's on there in 93 singing a song called Ooh Child. And he looks even more goofier in this because he cut his hair and he's wearing a bandana and he's wearing those like John Lennon sunglasses with a sleeveless like.
Are you sure that's not? Are you sure that's not Gerardo Rico Suave?
Oh, they are.
I remember that.
Yeah.
He's a preacher now.
Who?
Of course.
Dino?
No, the
Rico
guy.
Suave.
Yeah, Rico Suave.
Yeah, they're just like wrestlers. They all turn to God once they've done all their sins. Yeah, we get it. Which is nothing wrong with that, but I don't want to be preached to.
Okay, well.
Once again, as someone who believes in God, I say that.
Okay, just
I'm
making
not
sure.
an atheist here. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Live your life.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Everything's good.
Let's just tolerate everything and call it love, right, Michael?
all I know is I said one time, atheists don't believe in Christmas. And Harper goes, oh, the hell they don't. I just triggered myself. All right. Closing thoughts on Scotty the Body, a.k.a. Raven here. This is insane.
It certainly says something about a wrestler finding their true voice and gimmick and what a difference that can make for their career.
Oh, speaking of Jake Donovan, I was trying to find something to watch, and I was on Tubi. I was like, what the fuck? They got some like Memphis wrestling thing on Tubi.
Okay.
And I watched just the first match. It was Jake Donovan versus Coco Beware.
How was that?
So it's like a Memphis wrestling channel on Tubi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who won?
Yeah.
Jake Donovan won. I think he won with a figure 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he do any dick dancing?
No.
Well, what do we care then?
I just thought that was strange seeing that.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh boy. Let's go. Come on, Mike.
Come on, Mike.
All right.
God, you keep playing it over and over, and I keep watching it, expecting him to get better at dancing, and it's the same old thing.
I went fishing over the weekend.
You went what?
Fishing.
You went fishing.
Oh.
Yeah.
For what?
Speckled trout, some redfish. Tiffany's dad owns a camp in Dulac.
What the hell's that?
It's
I know
like
where that's at.
Yeah, it's like a little bit past Houma.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was anything. I didn't know there was anything past Houma.
Yeah, well, there isn't.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it was cool, dude. It's a nice camp. They put a lot of money into it.
You just went out there and wrecked it with your empty beer cans and.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was nice.
Did you catch anything?
We caught 5. That's the only ones we could keep.
And you ate them.
They're in a free. I think Tiffany's cooking them right now.
Sweet. How's she going to prepare them?
I have no idea.
Fried, blackened?
No, not fried.
Okay.
But it was cool. Bro, they had a big ass fucking alligator right by the fucking dock.
About
8 feet long. It's obvious people feed it.
You should have shot him.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, look.
Alligators are good eating.
Yeah. Can't you shoot a fucking alligator?
I know, you freaking moron.
Why not?
You gotta have tags for it. I mean, it's a thing. You can't just roll up and shoot it.
Oh, so you can, but you gotta pay your taxes first.
Right.
Well, no, you got
and
you got to
only for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Can you eat all of it or just the tail?
I think it's just the tail.
I've never had anything but the tail.
Yeah, for real.
Okay,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've never had anything but the tail.
Yeah.
I'm from the city, dog. I ain't from the swamps.
Fried alligator tail, when it's made good, is some good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I believe we've talked about everything we could possibly find to talk about except for 1993.
Yeah. Well, let's get started on it. So we are covering January 2nd of 1993. If you're only listening to the video version of this on Patreon, make sure you go back and listen to the intro, because we didn't win about 4 minutes at this point on the intro between Scotty the Body doing some dong dancing in Portland. Yes, Raven was doing some dong dancing to Dino, I Like It, in Portland. And then Harper got a question from Craig that he answered for his Ask Harper segment, which you can participate in. Just check the show description. Now we will turn our attention to January 2nd of 93. So we turn the page. 1992 is gone. We're on to 93. Bill Watts is still here. This week's episode was taped December 14th, 1992 at Center Stage. So obviously that's 2 weeks before Starrcade took place on December 28th of 92. So it makes for an interesting show, but I actually think they cover it well with how they handle things. On that note, I need to play some audio from the very beginning of this episode, because there is a major update that happens. Now, Doc, it sounds like you're talking, or you want to say something before I play the update?
I do. I missed Starrcade. What happened? Did Rick Rude win the title?
Yeah.
Rick Rude got hurt, and we got a very lame, I don't say lame, it was not great seeing Dr. Death versus Ron Simmons after the Rude Simmons buildup. Let's just say it like that.
That's weird.
Yeah.
How was it? How was Battle Bowl?
Well, Sting and Vader was badass.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we probably talked about that for 30 minutes.
Okay.
That was good shit. You should watch it, Doc.
I will. Right after we get off.
He ain't BSing. You got to watch that match.
Okay.
Yeah.
Harper, would you say that match was better than the match they had when Vader beat Sting for the title, or would you say the Starrcade match was better? Or is it hard to tell?
I like this match that we watched with Crockett.
Okay, so the Starrcade match.
Yeah, because I mean, Vader was really working with him and bumping around for him.
I think Sting and Vader had good matches for what I've seen, so I don't discount that.
That's actually exactly what we said. We were like, these two they work great together. And there's another huge one coming up at Super Brawl 3, so we ain't done with them murdering each other.
All right, so anyway, to get back to this, we flipped over to 1993. God, we started this in 1985.
November of 85, so, but yeah. Yeah, we were in grade school when we started this, and now we're either in high school or college at this point. Think about it like that.
That's amazing and depressing, and you're welcome.
Let's go to this audio. Harper, pay attention to this if you hadn't stepped away for your trout. This is a major update. Major update. Here it is.
This is a WCW special report. Big Van Vader has won the WCW World's Heavyweight title for the second time. On Wednesday, December 30th, in the Baltimore Arena, Vader defeated Ron Simmons in approximately 12 minutes to regain wrestling's most prestigious championship. The contest was an intense battle between two of the sport's most physical athletes. Vader's approximate 200-pound weight advantage and his unequal power was more than Simmons could overcome. The 450-pounder focused on Simmons' upper body and finally wore down the former Florida State University football All-American. Vader avenged a world title loss to Simmons in the same Baltimore Arena back on August 2nd, 1992. Vader's manager, Holly Race, has indicated the new world champion is prepared to face all top challengers worldwide and is especially anxious to meet Sting in a world title defense. Again, on Wednesday, December 30th, Big Van Vader defeated Ron Simmons to win the WCW World's Heavyweight title for the second time. This has been a WCW Special Report.
So after we made Ron do what he did at Starrcade, 2 days later, we're like, oh, we're taking the belt off of him.
That's bullshit.
Although, I feel like if Rude wouldn't have been hurt, I bet you they'd have put the belt on Rude that night.
Yeah.
Especially knowing that they took the belt off of Ron 2 days later.
Is this the big injury for Rude that keeps him out, that retires him?
No, we've talked about that a bunch of times. This is just a I don't want to call it a minor one because he's going to be out for a while, long enough that his U.S. title is stripped from him. But no, this isn't the one that he's done where he's, officially out for good.
Okay. Why did it sound like Bischoff was in a war-torn area phoning in on the, I don't know.
Yeah, he sounded like a war correspondent in the Ukraine.
It was 1993. Can't we get him on camera?
He probably did it from his house by the phone.
I bet. Come on.
I
didn't sound that.
I bet you. Yeah, I bet you he did.
Well, at least it wasn't like what Cornette
would he
did.
borrow Paulie's phone to do it?
They're probably like, "Oh, we'll just do it from your house because we forgot to do this."
Right. At least it wasn't like what Cornette did in Smoky Mountain, where you can hear the walkie-talkies beeping like they're supposed to be on a telephone, and you hear the walkie-talkies beeping, and you can clearly tell it's two people talking on walkie-talkies, and a tape recorder is taping it. At least it wasn't that. Oh, man.
Not everybody has Rick Rubin money.
Right. And then here's the thing. That was done in like 93 and 94. Anyway, okay, let's continue.
Man, I think Ron was a good champion, and I don't think he got the respect for this he deserved other than he was the first black world champion. Okay, that's great. Don't get me wrong, but I think he was a good world champion without any qualifiers.
Well, yeah.
We litigated this last week too. Like Bill Watts talks about how unsuccessful his Ron Simmons' reign was in that WWE Legends thing that he did. But the problem is Watts did Ron no favors. Tell me what he was involved. Tell me what Ron Simmons was involved in those a little more than three and a half months that he was champion. He had a feud with Barbarian this is not knocking Barbarian and kind of Cactus, but they didn't even do anything with him as champion. And that's what I was talking about last week.
Well, and that's the thing is they heated up in the go-home show. They heated up Rude and Simmons. That would have been something.
It would have, but then Rude gets hurt, so it takes the steam off of Rude. Then it just, Simmons in. I think they did Simmons no favor with the booking.
No, fuck no. You got buried.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll keep going. First match is Cactus Jack and Barbarian versus the Ambient Express. As we go to the match, Jim Ross and Larry Zbyszko on commentary, and you can tell that they post-produced the audio, given that these two are referencing. They're watching the matches from December 14th of '92 because this is when the taping was. But JR and Larry mentioned, Vader winning the title from Simmons on December 30th. So obviously they're not doing commentary that day. It's post-produced. So, Doc, your thoughts on this match?
Has it been like Barbarian's been gone for a while here?
I think so. What you think, Harper?
Yes. He hasn't done much.
They did that whole build-up to Halloween Havoc, and ever since then, it's kind of like...
He was in Battle Bull, wasn't he?
Was he?
Yeah.
I done forgot that quick. I forgot that quick.
Yeah.
Are we all afraid as this starts that the wrong team's about to win?
Yes.
For a second, I thought that.
Sleep Patrol.
But who did they lose to in 2 seconds or 5 seconds a few weeks ago?
When it Windham and Pillman, or
they got buried. So that kind of gave me some hope that the Ambient Express's push is behind us already.
Yeah.
I like
not that it ever got started, but they had that vignette. That's why I said their push is behind us.
I like the term Sleep Patrol because it's like they're out looking for hammocks and shit.
Can we go to the finish?
Larry says during this match that Ron's title run was a fluke.
That's nice.
He's playing heel. He's doing like you do, Doc. I mean, come on.
When's the last time I played heel?
Well, you do it. You don't do it as frequently as you used to, but you do it.
I just got tired of beating up my friends, out in the audience.
Sure.
Okay. Well, then fuck them. I don't care. Is that what you want?
Okay. No, nobody wants that. I don't know why you got all hot.
Apologize. I apologize to all the listeners.
See, he just did it. He played heel.
So my first thought was, let's make Sleep Patrol whole again after their loss by letting them beat up two of the legit tough dudes in the promotion. Now, is that what ends up happening?
Nope. Z-Man makes the hot tag to Gunn. Gunn is on fire. All four guys end up going at it. Gunn has Cactus pinned, but the ref's back is turned. Barbarian kicks Johnny Gunn in the back of the head, and Barbarian pins Gunn. The right team won.
Wow.
As we just watched. Thanks.
So we've just decided to end that push because now they're losing twice in the 2 weeks.
Bro, they played that. If you think about it, they played that stupid vignette, and they kind of got a couple of wins, maybe, and then it was all down.
Yep.
Oh man, good stuff.
Even it's weird because you get into sports and shit. You see, a GM will stick with a first round draft pick longer than they should because they pay the money for it. It's the reputation. Not here, boy. They just said, screw it, you're done.
Right team won.
Right team did win.
Hey, Harper, we didn't get a formal intro with Larry and JR, and I sent the image to you of this.
Oh, that's yeah.
What do you think of Larry's tie? It looks like it's paisley, kind of. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. What do you make of it? It's hard to tell. I can't tell what that design is.
Yeah.
You got me.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna try to focus in on it.
Okay.
Let's see. What you gave me on Facebook. Yeah, that's just some flowers or some shit.
Yeah.
Some floral print.
Right. It's a floral design.
Now, you don't mind neckties, so is that something you would wear if you had,
No. He's like, well, the colors match, Jim, so that's okay, right?
Arn. I mean, I got the color in my tie. That's always also in my shirt. I mean, it merges well.
To do Larry Zbyszko tonight, but that's great. He's always got a purple shirt on, too. How many purple shirts can one person own?
I think that's the same purple shirt, bro, and a different tie.
He dresses like a Dick Tracy villain.
I think it's the same.
I gotta tell you, I hope y'all had a lot of conversation about Bill Watts standing next to Hank Aaron there at Starrcade.
Yes. We did. We addressed it.
Hey, I've got some breaking news for the two of you.
What's that?
At the age of 93, Willie Mays has passed on to the heavens.
Oh, today?
Yes.
Just now?
Just now.
Damn, he's 93.
God.
The greatest center fielder of all time.
Didn't he have 600 home runs or something like that?
660, I believe.
Yeah. Bunch of Gold Gloves.
All of them.
I'm not the biggest baseball fan, but yeah, that's a legend gone.
One of the probably 10 best baseball players of all time.
1990. I mean, he's 93. I'd sign up for that right now. If somebody gave me that option. Hey, man, you want to get 93 years out of this gimmick? Sure.
Yeah,
I'll take those odds.
Are they good years at the end?
I hope.
That's the problem, dude.
Yeah,
because it means you're alive. Doesn't mean you're living.
Yes, but
listen to Harper, the philosopher.
I'm just saying, dude, my grandma lived to be 98, and those last few years were rough.
Harper, you got to realize something, though. Mike and I are still trying to make sure that, and we may change our perspective in the next 10 years, but we're trying to make sure that we've got, our offspring are adequately taken care of. And until they prove that they can do that, You want to have as many years here as you can to make sure that you can keep an eye on them.
We should put some money in CDs.
CD's nuts.
Yeah.
All right, we went from Willie Mays and RIP and him to CD's nuts. See, this is the problem.
I saw Willie Mays' grandson play back in the 80s. Willie Mays Hayes. Remember that?
From Major League.
Yeah.
I saw something about that
movie
the other day. I saw that they always made him run in slow motion because he was slow in real life. Now, can you go back to Larry for a second? Because I had a note that I forgot I had on this.
Arn.
Dude, he looks like that color and tie he looks like a tub of sherbet.
It does look like that, huh? And it is Jim Ross looking like a congressman from like West Virginia.
Let's recognize the junior congressman from West Virginia. The floor recognizes.
All right. Well, I'm going to continue to keep us moving along. But before we go to the next match, we're going to see Battle Bowl highlights. Jim Ross throws to an interview with Eric Watts' college coach, Howard Schnellenberger, who at this time was actually still at Louisville at this moment.
Are we sure that Howard Schnellenberger is not Captain Kangaroo?
Yeah.
Okay.
He does look like Captain Kangaroo.
Hey, look. Here's my note. He might have built the University of Miami. That football program. Mike, would you agree that he was the one that got it?
He's the one that got it started. Like everybody talks about Jimmy Johnson, but Schnellenberger is the one who got the dynasty started back then.
And you know how I feel about Jimmy Johnson, and I agree with you.
Yeah, Schnellenberger was the one that got it started.
He might have built that program up, but there ain't a damn chance in hell he's coming on this program and getting Eric Watts over. So let's just give that up.
Yeah, because that's what he's doing here.
He coached for the NFL too, didn't he?
Schnellenberger?
No,
I don't think so.
He was at
Florida Atlantic at one point as well.
Right. That's who I'm thinking of. Like right at the end.
He's at Florida Atlantic, Louisville, Miami. I forget where else, but
dude, he died.
He died.
Yeah, he died like 3.5 years ago. Where we're at.
He'd have been up in age. I mean, that doesn't shock me.
He was 87 years old. He played for the Toronto Argonauts.
You see, that's Mike's favorite team.
No, that's not my favorite team.
He was the head coach for the Baltimore Colts in 1973, 1974.
Okay, so he did coach.
Hey, remember that one year he had at Oklahoma where it was like not good?
No, I don't.
95, he was Oklahoma.
Oklahoma had some lean years at that time, though.
Boy, they did.
Yeah.
Switzer hangover. They got over it, though. They got over it, unlike Nebraska.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, next match after Schnellenberger blows his former pupil.
Whoa.
We go to. Well, it was a figure of speech. Whatever. Eric Watts is taking on Mustafa Saeed, and the wrong guy's going to win here. Doc, your thoughts?
They got Mustafa billed from Morocco, and then I have that the wrong guy won.
Wrong guy won. Yeah. We get a backdrop by Watts and then a cross the STF crossface, and the wrong guy just wins, man. It's just why. I can't. But this isn't going to go on for much longer, so rejoice. Oh boy. Pretty sad, ain't it? All right. After Eric Watts wins, we're going to go to Cactus Jack and Tony Atlas, who are out here to cut a promo. And I don't know, the last time we heard from Tony Atlas is probably when he got bleeped out. What do you think, Doc? Remember that?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I forgot he was still here.
Yeah.
Well, he is. So here it is.
Guys, Cactus Jack, there's a couple of things that I want to talk to you about. This big bounty match that's coming up January the 13th at the Clash of Champions. You've got your man Tony Atlas here with you. He's going to be taking on Heavy Metal Van Hammer at the Clash of Champions.
Well, you see, understand one thing. A lot of good wrestlers have tried to collect that bounty on Eric Watts, and a lot of good wrestlers have failed. But therein lies the problem. You see, they were, after all was said and done, wrestlers. I'm Cactus Jack. I'm the bounty hunter. You need someone hurt, you call Uncle Cactus. And I guarantee you this, the next time the Watts gather around for a family dinner, in addition to the mashed potatoes and the carrots, there's going to be another vegetable on the table, and its name will be Eric Watts.
Damn.
As far as Tony Atlas, all you got to do is take one look. You'll see he has the strongest arms in WCW, and he will prove that to the world at the Clash of the Champions in Milwaukee, January 13th.
Well, that's one other thing, Cactus. A little later on tonight, your man is going to be going one-on-one with Heavy Metal Van Hammer. Now, how can you get out here and say that Tony Atlas has the strongest arms when Van Hammer is the winner of that contest?
One-on-one, we'll see, and why don't we let Mr. Atlas tell you for himself what he's Van Hammer.
Well, you know something, Van Hammer? You have beaten the rest. Now you are going to face the best. I got the strongest arm in the WCW. I am the man. Don't forget that.
Fans, you've heard the comments from Tony Atlas and Cactus Jack. We'll be back with more WCW Saturday Night right after this.
Early candidate for Toot Toot Award, Cactus.
That's pretty stiff, huh?
Dude, that was stiff. Oof.
I forgot they still had a bounty for him.
Nobody collected it because he keeps tapping out the WWE Hall of Fame week after week.
Yeah.
Okay, two things got me there, Doc. I want to get both of y'all thoughts on it. First, he says, Cactus says, if you need a bounty hunter, call Uncle Cactus. Don't ask me why, but that kind of...
Hey, that's a weird phrase.
Yeah.
Uncle Cactus, right? And then when he's like, I'll turn you into a vegetable, I'm like, whoa.
That was nice.
Yeah. Harper, any other thoughts you want to give us so D-Man doesn't get mad?
That was great. I didn't expect that. The little one-liner.
Good stuff.
Now,
all right.
Tony Atlas doesn't really have a really great promo there, but I guess
We continue. We see a replay of Rick Rude's promo from Starrcade regarding his injury in the tournament that kicks off on today's show. At first they call it a number one contenders match. More on that in a second for the
Okay, because I was real confused there, so I wasn't sure what we were doing, so I'm going to need some help.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Rude's promo was really good. Basically, he said there was a crooked doctor, and games were being played with him being removed from the match. So anyway, a couple of things here. So before we go to the first match, you'll notice the graphic says U.S. Heavyweight Title Tournament. But when we go to Dustin Rhodes versus Vinny Vegas, we are told on commentary this is the first match in the U.S. Title Tournament number one contender. So I think, and I don't know this for a fact because I haven't committed it to memory in terms of knowing the history of it, but I really do think that they called an audible, and at first it was going to be a number one contender tournament, and then they realized Rude was going to be injured, so they then had to start calling it for the actual title, this tournament. So at first it was going to be for the number one contender. Whoever won it would be the number one contender, and when Rude would come back, he would face them. But then I think Rude was out too long. They figured Rude was going to be out too long. It was like, well, no, we can't do number one contender. Whoever wins this thing is just going to be the winner of the title. Which actually ends up going good later on once they get to that point, because it'll make sense that they stripped Rude and now he's got a grievance at that point. You know, I was never beaten. You know, y'all just took it from me, type thing. So let's go to the first match, Doc. Dustin Rhodes versus Vinny Vegas. Did you have any thoughts on this? It is long.
Yeah, I'm not, and I wasn't real interested in it coming in because I can't envision a scenario where Nash wins this.
Yeah, no.
Nash, you go to high school with him?
We did. We went to
Tennessee.
Tennessee together.
Okay. I wonder if Half Pint went to school with him. Yeah, Half Pint probably came up to his ankle.
Come on.
Hey, speaking of Half Pint, by the time this drops, I'm going to see Half Pint and the rest of the BTT degenerates in 9 days from when this drops at Wildcat X-Rated. So, yeah.
Doc's
looking
going.
forward.
I got to check my
That's
schedule
the rumor.
first.
That's the rumor. Adam Price reported that on Facebook. I don't know if he's got intel or what, but he said that you're going, Doc.
He and I were talking about some insurance policies the other day.
Okay, yeah. If you live in Mississippi, contact Adam Price's insurance. I don't know his email address now. A Price INS, I believe it is at AOL.com.
Hey, that's an free advertising that we give out to only the classiest of Army members.
That's right.
Yeah. Adam, longtime listener, BTT Hall of Famer, all around good guy, for sure.
I'd rather do that than pimp out some Dawn croutons.
You ain't lying about that.
Nothing about Vinny Vegas says Vegas.
Nothing.
Boogie, nothing about you says computer or technology. All right. Well, we
was that
do.
a diamond stud shirt that kid had on?
Well, it's a Razor Ramon shirt now.
It is. It sure is. That's what it
they
looks
didn't
like.
do merch back then, though.
They didn't do a little according to Bischoff. Well, hey, real quick. Dustin Rhodes wins. Drop kick by Dustin. Dustin shoves Vegas into the corner. Vegas stumbles. And Dustin hits Vegas with a bulldog for the win. It was a long match, and I'm not trying to be mean, but it was kind of boring. So there's that. Yeah. We saw an ad for the Clash that's coming up on January 13th. So that'll be 9 days from now. Or 11 days from now. You can only hear us discuss that on Patreon at tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. Not only do you get access to that Clash, but all the previous 20 plus ones that we've done, along with all the WCW pay-per-views that we reviewed, plus the JV Goon Squad shows and the World Class shows with Lance and myself. tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT, the best way to support the show and get tons of extra content. 400 plus exclusive shows are available there. From there, after we see the kid with the diamond stud shirt, that is definitely one that they bought. That is not made by him. We're going to go to Brian Pillman and Barry Windham and the handoff to Steve Austin. Here that is.
Okay, Jim, Barry Windham will be in that tournament a little bit later on here on WCW Saturday Night, but he had something he wanted to say to Flying Brian. He wanted us here with him to hear this, Barry.
You know, first of all, Pillman, I've been working on something here for a while. But I've had my priorities a little bit wrong. They've been in the wrong place. Now I've got the World Heavyweight Championship staring me right in the face. I've got the United States Heavyweight Tournament right here today. But I tell you what I've done. And I'm not going to be like other people that we know. But I've gone out and I've found a man that I want to be your partner. And I know, we've discussed this, that he can be the World Tag Team Champion with you. Now, this man held the World Television Championship longer than any man alive. And he was only beaten once, and that was by me. But I'll tell you what, 2 weeks later, he took the championship away from me. The guy I'm talking about is somebody that's not going to leave you hanging in the balance, and somebody you can count on when the going gets rough. And the man's name is Austin, and he's right over here. And Pillman, he's ready to back you up 100%.
All right, stunning Steve Austin.
I'll tell you what, Shivani, it's got to boggle your imagination to think of the impact the three of us are going to have in this sport. Barry Windham, future world champion. And then think of the dominance that can be achieved when you bring two world-class athletes together and they mesh as one. When you take those talents and abilities and you focus on a common goal, you create an unbeatable machine. You take a real good look at this trio right here, because it's going to be a familiar sight in the world title picture for a long time to come.
You know, Tony, I don't need or care to have anyone tell me how great a wrestler I am, because believe me, I know, and the people know, I held the world television title longer than anyone in history, and I'm going to bring that same ingredient that it takes to be a champion in our quest for the World Tag Team Champions. It's something that I can't explain. Brian and I aren't like every other wrestler. We don't just go out there and wrestle for the sake of wrestling. We have a need to have a belt around our waist, and that need may turn to greed.
and we will be unstoppable as a team, Tony. Count on it.
Okay, there they go, Jim, going their way to the ring, this new tag team as we go back to action.
Well, I think to me that's the official birth of the Hollywood Blondes, although they're not calling them at this point that. Doc, your thoughts?
Man, Windham gave Pillman Stone Cold Steve Austin as a present. That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Here, take this. He's only going to be the best wrestler ever.
Right.
Yeah. I just don't understand, and I get it that hindsight's 20/20. But if you close your eyes and listen to Pillman and Austin, they sound tremendous then too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can hear it and see it. It's not 100% there, but yes, you're like, okay, how does someone not see that there's money in both of these guys? Especially Austin, who gets fired.
I'd say especially Pillman at this point, but Austin too, both of them.
Well, Pillman was good from the moment he walked in.
Yeah, that's true.
And I want you to think about it. They stick him with Z-Man. They threw an ice cold bucket of water on him, and he still was able to get through that. So, yeah.
There you go.
Pillman, the junior heavyweight champion?
And the yellow dog.
And yeah. He's been a U.S. champ, a U.S. tag champ. I'll say U.S. champ. He's been a U.S. tag champ, light heavyweight champ. I think he was light heavyweight champ.
Yeah, remember when it was Scott Armstrong. Remember when he came out on crutches or something? I can't wrestle you. And
that was Brad was the champ at that moment that you're talking about, though.
Oh, Brad was the champion?
Yeah, in that moment he was, because they stripped Brad, and that's when Watts was like, we're going to redo a title in January for a tournament for the titles, and we had to strip Brad.
That fucking shit.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. You see, you had to fucking remind me.
But this is good. Any other thoughts on the promo, Harper?
No. Let's just move on.
Let's go to...
next we have...
Pillman and Austin are taking on Larry Santo and Rick Nelson. They're not the Hollywood Blondes, as we can see from the graphic. It's just they're going by their names. Larry Santo passed away recently, not that long ago. Yeah. Yep.
Are you serious?
I am. Google him.
Okay, I guess I will. That's sad. R.I.P. Larry Santo. Jesus.
Yeah, I bring it up because, between WCW and Smoky Mountain Wrestling, he was, one of the regular enhancement talents that we saw pretty regularly. Not decent talent. It wasn't like he was, he wasn't one of these guys that gets in there and didn't know what the hell he was doing.
Yeah.
He got in there and knew what he was doing and knew how to wrestle. He knew how to do his job well and did it well.
I don't see it.
I thought I saw he passed away. Dude, don't you dare call me a liar on this one. Now you're going to make me look.
Are you spelling Santos right?
No, it says here this year on February the 6th. I re-Googled.
Yeah. So he passed away.
This year.
Yeah, that's what I was.
63.
That's not that old, bro.
No, it's not that old.
You see?
That ain't that old.
Hope you like Willie Mays.
Whoa.
No, man, that's what I'm saying, bro. I hear these 60. You see folks die at 62 and 3. I'm like, man. Yeah,
I thought that shit died off in the 80s.
That's not that long ago. It's not like I'm too close to that. You know what I'm saying? I want more than just 15 years, 16 years. 14 years away from passing away.
Well, let me tell you this. Santo was frisky in this match. He got some offense and he was bumping around. He was good here.
Yeah, they didn't. This wasn't like a complete squash. It wasn't like they dominated Pillman and Austin, but both of them kind of gave it back to Pillman and Austin. It wasn't a long match though, but I agree
they got
with you.
some stuff in.
Yeah, you can see it here as we watch it. They got stuff in. It wasn't just, all right, we're going to beat the hell out of these guys. Look, just drop kick there on Pillman. Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they were working, dude. Well, here comes the finish. Austin hits Santo with the stun gun and pins Santo. And the match went about 5 minutes or so, and Santo and Nelson got in some offense, like we said, but Austin and Pillman obviously win, and that was that. Keeping the show moving, we go to the King of Cable final replay from Starrcade Highlights. And, of course, that was Sting and Vader. What a match it was. Go back and watch the video version if you're a patron, tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. Or go listen to last week's episode as well that we covered it on. We then see another ad for the next Clash of the Champions, where once again you can listen to us review it at tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. There is going to be an 8-man tag match in the cage. So an 8-man match in the cage this one.
Yeah, why is this happening?
Stay tuned, and maybe they'll clarify next week to tell us what's going on, because we do have one more show in between now and the Clash.
In a bounty match.
And a bounty match at this time. Yes, they tell us about a bounty match. So,
Live
but we'll be here to cover the event. Doc, we're covering the event. tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. All right, so let's keep this show moving. The next match in the U.S. Heavyweight Title Tournament or Contender Tournament, whichever one you want to believe at this time, is Tony Atlas versus Van Hammer. Now remember, this was taped December 14th. The ring announcer keeps saying this match is for the U.S. title tournament. He ain't saying the number one contender, which is what commentary is saying. So again, we're going back and forth here, and there's a lot of confusion, but I already talked about that. Doc, the winner of this is going to face Dustin Rhodes next week. I love Tony Atlas and got no problem with him, but watching him versus Van Hammer.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Atlas kind of looks like he's wearing jammies.
No, that's just those crazy wear pants that wrestlers were wearing at that time, looking like idiots.
Watch 4730, if you will.
Okay, what are we looking for?
Remember how you and I watched this with Orndorff and Brad Armstrong last week?
Yeah.
Last episode? This doesn't look as good.
Oh, when they try to do the bridge?
Yeah.
No. It's because Hammer's nowhere near as
flexible.
The worker.
Yeah.
That Armstrong is. Like, he can't. Okay, this is just my opinion. Harper, tell me if I'm wrong. You see how Hammer goes down?
Yes.
And obviously Atlas is holding him up. I feel like when I watch this, Hammer needs to trust Atlas. Atlas is a big man. Atlas will be able to carry that weight down to where Hammer bridges and lands on his head. Hammer doesn't believe enough in himself at this point to allow Atlas to lay him down. So instead of going all the way down, he starts to like not panic here, but he goes, I don't know if that's a good idea. I think I'm going to just bridge back up from this point. Fair assessment, Harper, or no?
Yeah. Or he's not flexible enough to go all the way down.
That's what I was wondering.
I don't think you have to be that flexible. You just got to trust the dude's going to carry your weight down. And as big as Atlas is, he'd be like, yeah, dude, I'll carry you all the way down. But yeah, Doc, it did not look as good as Brad did doing it.
Brad got a win?
Let's go to the finish because so Hammer is trying to suplex Atlas back in the ring after Atlas was on the outside, but Cactus comes out and Cactus grabs Hammer's boot, and Atlas lands on Hammer and pins him. And in amazing fashion, the right guy wins.
That's crazy.
Thank the Lord Jesus, sweet baby Jesus.
See,
there you go.
Watch is a racist.
That's what you know. What's crazy? That's what Watts would say.
Oh yeah.
Watts would go. What do you mean I'm racist? Did you see January 2nd of '93 when I put over Tony Atlas on Van Hammer?
How could I be racist?
Right. That's exactly what that buffoon would say. Oh boy. All right. Doc, we have a rather great promo coming up on the next piece here.
I believe that Cactus is about to lose the Toot Toot Award, if we're going to be honest.
Let's go to WCW Up Close and Personal with Arn Anderson, who's being interviewed by Jesse Ventura, not Tony Schiavone. Here, that is, and we will talk about it on the other side, because this, let's just say Arn may be doing some shooting right here, and that's kind of what I got to say. So here that is.
Hey, this is Jesse the Body Ventura, and I'm sitting in for my colleague Tony Schiavone on WCW Up Close. And I'm thrilled to sit in here today because I have a man sitting with me, someone who even I admire. And there ain't many people in this wrestling world that Jesse the Body admires. But the person sitting with me, Arn Anderson, AA, the Enforcer, unbelievable career in World Championship Wrestling. Arn, you go way back to the days of the Four Horsemen. You've basically ruled WCW in the time you've been involved in World Championship Wrestling.
Well, I've certainly grown up with WCW and the old NWA. I came here just basically a rookie, greenhorn, and I learned. I learned through battling the best, back to the Dusty Rhodes era, the Magnum TA era, which wasn't so long ago. I took my knocks, I took my bumps, and I learned that you either learn to persevere or you get out. So my roots are here. I feel like this is my home.
Well, I'll tell you got a great background, Arn. You know, the thing that you and I have in common, we're both Minnesotans, and everybody knows how tremendous amateur wrestling is in the Midwest. I mean, it's where all the power. You got Minnesota, Iowa, the Big Ten wrestling, and that's where you came up with an amateur background. And I got to hand it to you. You've held just about every tag team title there is to hold in World Championship Wrestling. You're at the peak of your career right now. But you've suffered an injury, which we all know can happen. It's a rough business, a rough game. You get hurt. How's the knee doing right now?
Well, Jess, I've had every injury known to man. 3 years ago in February, I broke my neck. Herniated disc, it qualifies. I've had every other injury. Torn groin. I never could sympathize with guys when they hurt their knee because I'd never been through it. Now, it's that plateau of healing. When you start to heal, it just plateaus off. Athletes understand what I'm talking about. You go through a process where you get better, you get a little better, and then it just cuts off, and it's frustrating because without your legs, you cannot compete. I've competed hurt before. As you know,
we all do.
All athletes have had to.
Sure.
But you can't compete on any serious level without your wheels.
Well, 92's drawing to a close now, Arn, and I know we're all looking forward to 1993. I think personally it's going to be the biggest year in WCW history, 1993. A lot of young new wrestlers coming up, a lot of talent that's been here for quite some time right now, that it is at the top. What's your expectations for 1993? You've done it all. What's left to do?
Let me tell you the kicker at this point, Jesse. The reason my leg is hurt, you're talking about the young talent. I hurt this leg in a match with Eric Watts, national television.
Right. Well aware of it.
Hurt it, he put that new STF on it, took advantage of a situation that he learned from Chono, and he put that hold on, and he hurt that knee. Which, hurrah, good for Eric Watts. But let me tell you the kicker, after what I've been and all that I've done in WCW and the old NWA, here's the kicker. When it comes rebuttal time, if I can get this knee well, I don't have a contract in 93.
What?
Bill Watts is not renewing my contract. It's sweep Arn Anderson out the door, no rebuttal. Let him, if he can get well, fine, but he'll have no rebuttal in WCW, a.k.a. Bill Watts.
Wait a minute. Wait just a minute. You're telling me, Arn, you've got no contract for 93? A talent of your caliber, they're not signing you?
I've earned the right to be here forever, Jesse, in my eyes.
You're damn right you have.
This is my home, okay? But Eric Watts, understand one thing, and this pertains to you, not Daddy. No contract doesn't pertain to the streets. It doesn't pertain to these arenas where I can buy a ticket. It doesn't pertain to airports. You may be sitting there with your girlfriend holding hands in one of these ice cream shops. Understand one thing, I was here first. I earned my way. And I'm not going to be shoved aside and take it lightly. You can rest assured of that. I'm Arn Anderson. I've earned that right.
I think Bill Watts is protecting his kid. I don't like it. This is Jesse the Body Ventura, the man who tells it like it is. Watts, quit protecting your kid. That's it for this week on Up Close and WCW.
I mean, Doc, your thoughts? I mean, this is shooting here, man.
Yeah, it's like we remembered we had Arn on the roster, and then we sent him out there to shoot on the Booker man. Dude, when he said no contract doesn't pertain to the streets, I was like, hell yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck you up in a parking lot.
Dude, so he said, I kept thinking when he was like just going off right there, like Arn just, as Harper says, released the Kraken. He just went off. And you know what's crazy? This isn't even gonna be his best promo in '93.
Oh, I believe that, but he's like, they're sweeping me out the door, dude. How much of that was that felt real.
Yep.
Well, that's the thing that makes it so interesting is when you've heard Arn talk about this time period now on his old show or just various shoot interviews. Arn basically right here is saying the same thing he said in more recent years about this situation. Like he basically has said this. Like, I mean, he ain't telling the whole story, but we all know he wasn't happy with Watts. And I don't even think he's not even, Crockett said this last week about his injury, but I don't even think he's really like quote unquote injured right here. The story that he claims, at least in more recent years, is Watts gave him a pay cut. He then actually suggested this angle with Watts and getting injured so he'd be able to sit at home while only making half of his pay. At least that's what he said in various shoot interviews that I've listened to for years now, and on his show. So I don't know if he's changed that, but that's kind of what he said. So but when you listen to it, you know, if you were hearing it in '93, you wouldn't have known all the bad feelings backstage, but he still is shooting like those feelings are real. I know it's hard to describe, is what I'm saying, but this is good. I mean, bro, Arn was on it here. And it's not even one of his top promos you'll ever hear. That's the crazy part.
I love Jesse's like, you're damn right this is your home. And this is,
Yeah. Yeah, Jesse's all into it. And Jesse's like, what do you mean you don't have a contract? No, I don't have a contract going to
Jesse
93.
was great there.
Yeah.
I'm pissed off for you.
I don't like him without something on his head.
That's true too.
He's got to have the Hogan bandana or something.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. So any other thoughts on Arn right there?
It's good to be back. I wish you hadn't left, and I'm glad that we remembered that he's here.
Yeah.
Thank God. We continue and we go to the next match in this tournament, Barry Windham versus Johnny B. Bad. Man, the crowd is just dead for this. They're just not into this today. I don't know what's going on in center stage, but there's just not a lot of noise from the fans. And the crazy part is Windham and Bad are getting after it. They're throwing some live rounds or laying it in, and the crowd is just sitting on their hands. At one point, they started chanting something, but I couldn't even make out what they were chanting. But I don't know how to describe. This crowd was really weird. Doc, did you kind of think the same thing? They just weren't into it? Or is it just
yes? Me? Yeah, but I thought...
Uh-oh. That ain't mine.
So I got a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just me, or is that Barry really starting to look like Blackjack here?
Nah,
in the face.
Yeah, he does. And he's getting thicker. Like, he's not big, but he's just a big raw bone dude. And yeah, he's starting to look like.
Yeah, because I mean, we're not that far away from the Stalker.
Right.
Like 2 years away.
That's a messed up too.
I remember the first time seeing that fucking vignette.
Yeah.
I was like, why is Barry Windham in a tree? The fuck
he's
is
out there.
this?
He's out there with the Rock and Roll Express and Armstrong's Army.
Yeah. Like, what does this have to do with Predator? Why is Barry Windham in a tree?
Why does face painted green?
So during this match, we talk about Muta.
Wait, hold on. I gotta ask Harper a question. Please tell me more about the first time you saw him as the Stalker.
Because it's Barry Windham.
Right.
We all know it's Barry Windham. But he's up in the tree with this face painted green. Like what the fuck is he? He's not stalking anything. He's just sitting up in a tree with his face green.
Needless to say, you were disappointed by the stupidity of it.
Yeah, because I'm like, that's Barry Windham. Why is he calling himself the Stalker?
Right. He's a former world champion.
Yeah. And that's what he's trying to put some weight on.
Yeah, he did. He was getting a little husky there.
Yeah.
All right, Doc, back to you. I'm sorry. Harper had me dying talking about the Stalker, but go ahead.
So they talk about Muta here winning Battle Bowl, and I'm like, man, they should push the fact that they buried him 3 years ago, and look how much better he is today.
I think they wanted us to forget that they buried him. That's why they never bring it up.
Right, they wanted us to forgive that.
Here's something simple that you don't see today. Can you give me 104.13?
I sure can. All right.
The float over.
104.10.
So smooth.
Oh, the suplex where you just
floats over.
Go with him and don't. Yeah.
So nice.
Can you look at wrestling?
Can you see 106.10 as we move to the finish?
I sure can. So let me go to it. 106.10. Give me a second. All right. What are we looking for at 106.10?
There's a Frankensteiner attempt here, right?
I'd call it an attempt, and I'm gonna blame Barry for not getting over because I think Mark Merrow, Johnny B. Bad, Merrow, you go to high school with him. He did his part, but Barry didn't go.
He didn't completely roll.
No, so now there's the finish. Roll.
So then we go to the finish. Bad hits Windham with a sunset flip off the top rope, but Windham rolls through, and then Larry hits Bad as on the ground. And then he hits that modified DDT that he's going to start using a lot. And Windham wins by pin. And I thought the finish was good. I don't know why the crowd wasn't into this.
I don't either, because I thought it was a good match, and I thought it was a great finich.
It could have been like they could have been taping all day. This was they were wore out, like those Smoky Mountain crowds.
Yeah, I don't know if this was
episode.
Maybe
I
so.
Make a note whether this was the first or second taping, or if it was just one tape. It was just weird that they just weren't into it. It was just really strange.
I don't get it.
All right. Well, Doc, I'm not going to play this next promo. It is Shane Douglas and Ricky Steamboat, unless you have something from it.
I had meh.
Yeah. So the next promo that we go to, it's Steamboat and Douglas. And Douglas addresses Steamboat being in this U.S. title tournament and says, Ricky, I just want to tell you, you have my full blessing going after that U.S. title. But then they both, in the same promo, reiterate the tag belts are the priority. Well, hold on, buddy. Which one is it? Are the tag belts the priority, or are you going for the U.S. title? Well, I don't know. I feel like you can only have one priority. It was really weird the way they worded it.
Yeah, didn't they have both tag team titles?
They do. They have the unified belts, the WCW and NWA tag belts right now.
Okay. Great.
It's unified. Remember, Harper, it's unified, but they still have two sets of belts. They didn't fuse them into one yet.
Until all are one.
They didn't Voltron it where they're all one, is what I'm saying.
Form, arms, and legs.
So then, after the promo, we go to Ricky Steamboat versus Dan Spivey, who was in was at Starrcade. And Doc, I'll go to you. What are your thoughts from this one?
Spivey's hair is a problem.
You don't like that?
Well, how would you describe it, Harper?
Hill has eyes looking.
Okay, for those who haven't seen,
looking.
He's starting to thin.
For some of those who haven't seen that, how else would you describe? What's going on here?
what's House of 1,000 Corpse?
Stop using horror movies to describe his hair. What does it look like? It's long and stringy in the back. It's standing on
He looks like somebody from one of those movies.
But unless somebody knows horror movies, they don't know what you're talking about. But everybody knows.
Long and stringy in the back, and it's. Wait, let's see. The side of it's is the side of it shaved?
No, it's not shaved.
And
the side's not shaved at all.
I think he's losing his hair too, which doesn't help.
Correct.
Yeah, I think he's just starting to thin up top, and what's happening is he's letting what is on top like lay forward.
Yes.
But he's got plenty of hair, I mean, on the back and sides. It's just the top starting to
so
thin.
do I.
Okay. You don't have okay. You are basically completely bald up top.
Why are you follicle shaming Harper?
Exactly.
When Harper lets his hair grow, Harper has the Dr. Phil look. When he doesn't shave his head, he's got the Dr. Phil look. And he's getting pissed at me because I shave my head and can still grow it.
That's nice. How often do you shave your head?
Well, once a week.
Yeah, yeah. That's nice.
Harper's a man, do what you want to do. It's your body. It's your head. Do what you want to do. Until you tell him you shave your head and can grow hair. Then he compares you to somebody in a wheelchair whose legs work.
Yeah, so like, it's like you're transbald. So you're not bald, but you just fucking just going along with it.
I don't know what that means, and I'm not sure I want to know.
He's basically saying, I'm not really bald, but I want to identify as a bald person, which makes no sense. No, you know what they call that, Harper? They call that somebody who just shaves their head because it's their choice to do so. There's no such thing as trans bald. You're making dumb shit up along as you go along with it, okay? Just stop. Okay?
Hey, love is love.
This has nothing to do with love is love or anything else. It's called, I like to have a bald head, even though I have hair that grows fine.
Jesus Christ. Put your beard down to your fucking toes.
Yeah, that's my choice.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Bet your wife loves you.
He's getting mad. I don't know where that comes from.
Yeah, I bet your wife's family, like, out of all of them, you picked this one?
Out of all of them.
Out of all of them. Like I was a crop. Jesus. All right.
Wow.
Doc, do we need to go to the finish of this match?
Dude, I was watching this, and Spivey, and we're kind of hard on him from time to time, but and this is going to sound harsh, but it's not, because, I mean, it is what it is. His knees look like they have broken glass for tendons, and he looks like it hurts to get around. So, I mean, that's not his fault. I'm just saying, man, he looks tough. It looks tough.
Yeah. He almost walks around like he pulled his back out, kind of.
Was he starting bad knee problems at this time?
I think so.
Because I remember, because he leaves here and he goes to the WWE for like a half an hour with that.
He's Waylon Mercy.
Yeah, with the whole Cape Fear gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah, his I don't know. When I think of bad knees, I think about Undertaker at the end, the way he would hobble around the ring. I'm like, every time I'd see him, the way he would move, I'd be like, man, there's no way he can keep doing this much longer. It's like his knees must be shot at this point, just from, the wear and tear over the years.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let us continue. We are going to go to one more promo before we close out the show. Harper, did you see on the scroll? Look at that.
The Municipal Auditorium, right?
Yeah. They're going to be in New Orleans on Sunday, January 10th at 7:30 at the Municipal.
Yeah, but it was a packed house.
Which is crazy because I'm thinking 1993. Why aren't they at the Lakefront Arena? Yeah.
Because it's cheaper at the Municipal Auditorium.
You think the Municipal was cheaper at that point?
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Okay.
I get that building for free.
Okay.
Because think about it. The UNO Lakefront Arena was like 10 years old at this point.
Yeah, and they were having a lot of
since the 30s.
Yeah, and they were having a lot of concerts at Lakefront Arena by that point too.
Oh yeah, dude, that's when the UNO Lakefront Arena was cooking.
Yeah, everybody was having concerts there at that point.
Oh yeah, bro, like everybody.
Yeah.
Pearl Jam and you name them.
Everybody. It was a new building, only 10 years old. Not even 10 years old yet. Well, over
Right.
10. Just over 10. But yeah, you're right.
There was no Smoothie King Center, so.
Right. It was either the arena or the Municipal or the Superdome. It was so weird that New Orleans went through that time period where it did not have a legitimate arena. And everybody's like, what do you mean? You know, Lakefront Arena? No, that building is way too small to be considered like a basketball arena. Like it only fits like 8,000 people. You can't, I mean, you're like, what? You can't play, like you can't play arena football in here. The floor is not big enough. It's perfect for wrestling if you ask me, but you know, I mean, anything beyond
it wasn't there, it was Biloxi.
Right. All right, let's go to. We're getting ready to close out the show. We got to go to Barry Windham, who he's cutting a promo right before we go off air. Here it is.
Hello, everyone, here on WCW Saturday Night. Hope you'll join me tomorrow night on AM 750 WSB for Wrestling with Jim Ross. We'll be taking your telephone calls, and there's certainly a great deal to talk about. Now, right now, we do know that next week here on the broadcast, it will be Ricky Steamboat and Barry Windham.
You know, that's the match I want to see, Jim. You know, if Barry Windham doesn't lose emotional control, he can beat Steamboat.
Well, Barry Windham is standing by right now with Teddy Long. Let's go back to the locker room area.
Thanks, guys. Well, right here, Barry Windham, next week, you're going to be going one-on-one with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat in the second round for the tournament that's going to be held for the United States title. Now, early on, we heard Ricky Steamboat come out. He made some comments, and in my opinion, Barry, what he's saying that he's in this tournament for one thing, and that is to get revenge on you. What's your reaction?
What does your opinion matter here? Listen, I'm no Boy Scout, and I gave up merit matches a long time ago. I can find my way, and I can fight my way out of that I get in. Steamboat, I didn't learn my ways from some little Girl Scout along the way up this road. You're talking about being from the old school. Well, pal, they're all ahead of me, too, and I've been around here a while. I'm not some little pretty face walking around here looking for some little rinky-dink championship or looking for a new girlfriend. I'm looking for you, son. And I'm going to tear you up. These championships around here are going to be around my waist. And this United States Championship that I'm stepping in line for is just one more thing that I'm going to put on the mantle at my place. So, Steamboat, you step in when you think you're ready, because I'm man enough and I'm bad enough to take you back home and let you sit at the lake house and count the skiers that go by. And Dustin Rhodes, any building in this country or the world, your tail is mine too, pal.
Well, fans, what a match that is going to be right here next week. Let's go back to Jim and Larry.
Boy, Barry Windham knows how to cut a heel promo. I don't know how else to say it.
That was great.
That was great.
I'm not here to get some rinky-dink title or try to find a girlfriend.
It's funny he's selling it to Steamboat, who's the family man.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I looked it up, Mike, that Steamboat's wife at this time is like 2 wives ago.
Oh, really?
As of right now, yeah.
Okay. So is he married during this time period?
Yeah, I think he's married to her. Yes. And then he remarried. he divorced her and remarried, and then he divorced that broad, and now he's married again.
So he's not married to Bonnie right now.
I don't think at this time.
At this time, in '93. Okay, got you. Huh. All right. So scratch whatever we said about him doing it for Bonnie.
Yeah, so I don't feel bad now, right? Yeah. No, Doc, he was trying to make me sound like an asshole.
He was. I didn't like that at all. I didn't.
All right. Well, it's just about time to rate it and hand out the Rolex. Before we do so, remember, we got a clash coming up in the next week and a half. It'll only be available on Patreon at tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. Not only will you get access to that clash, but we've done 21 or 22 others before this one. I forget which number we're on now. All of those are available, along with the WCW pay-per-views we've done to this date, plus all the JV Goon Squad shows, as well as the show, the World Class show with Lance and myself. Only available at tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. Best way to support this show and get tons of extra content. 400 Patreon exclusive shows are available there, along with most of the video versions from the shows that we do here. All right, Doc. Toot Toot Award, Rolex Award, depending on what you want to call it, and we're going to rate it. Which one do we usually do first? After all these years, I always forget. But it's on you, whichever one.
We rate it.
There you go. What are you going to rate it?
Man, this wasn't a terrible show. There were some good matches, and the crowd was weird, though. So I'm going to say B+.
Wow.
Good
I'm going A-.
I'll give it a B.
Okay, fair enough.
Corporates wrestling, okay.
There's a lot of replays because Starrcade just happened, but I'm good with a A-. Harper gave it a B.
Yeah.
So Toot Toot Award, Doc, who are you giving yours to?
Arn Anderson, brother.
Yeah, I was tempted to give it to Cactus, but you can't pass up Arn, so I'm going Arn as well. Harper, what about you?
Double A, baby.
Double A. I hear that. And no complaints there. All right, before we wrap this show up, we got to get a word from AI Jim Ross about Hardbody Harper answering your questions on the show like we did for Craig earlier in the episode. Here that is.
Harper is crying broke after AI Bill Watts fined him $69,000 and banned the Coyote. And we keep hearing that you all want Harper to answer questions on the main show. Harper is ready to take your questions. Grab a pen and paper because here comes some directions. If you want your question or questions answered, first send Harper $5 per question to his PayPal at cc30388cc@yahoo.com. After you send Harper that sweet, sweet cheddar, email your question or questions to Chris Harper, 16wildcat@gmail.com. That's wildcat with a K, and BookingTheTerritory@gmail.com. Also, make sure you state in your email what your name is and what your PayPal address is that you sent the money from. Remember, one question per $5. Kids, get your parents' permission before sending your cheddar and emailing your questions. Lastly, if you missed the PayPal or email addresses, check the show notes and description for the details.
All right. Well, that just about wraps up the show this week. Doc, any closing thoughts before we throw to Harper to hit the tagline and send us off home on our Kawasaki Mule or whatever that is Austin used to say?
Man, I'm ready to get and so good to be back. I missed you guys for Starrcade. Hopefully I can keep my hands above the table and not get in trouble. And that's all I got.
I hear you. All right, Harper. Well, if you ain't got nothing else, hit the tagline, and I guess we'll see the listeners at Wildcat X-Rated on July 27th, coming up in just 9 days after this show drops. Looking forward to it for everybody who's going to be there. Hit the tagline, Harper. Let's roll.
Okay, biatch.
Congratulations on making it to the end of this week's show. Don't forget to send your comments about what the guys discussed tonight to Luke Hawks on Facebook and on Twitter or X or whatever the piss they call it now. The rumor is Luke likes answering BTT fan mail. Also, do the guys a solid by liking the show's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. And don't forget to like and retweet or repost the show on all social media platforms. Lastly, become a BTT patron member where you get tons of extra shows. You can join at tinyurl.com/BTT Patreon. Until next week, so long, everybody.